Welcome to the Wellness Dentist Podcast. Join biological and cosmetic dentist Dr. Katie Toe as she explores holistic wellness through trending ideas, real stories, and patient experiences. This podcast will inspire you to make healthy lifestyle choices and take charge of your dental wellness. And now your host, the Wellness Dentist, Dr. Katie Toe.
Welcome to the Wellness Dentist Podcast, or Health for Longevity. I'm Dr. Katie Toe, your podcast host, and today I have a very special friend. We've been working together with each other for a long time, and I was always inspired by her determination and her wellness journey. So that's why I'm like, Amy, you need to sit down and tell our audience, especially our patients and our dental medical professional, about this. So Amy, thank you for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
Yes, I want our listener and audience to hear from you. Give us your introductions about what you do and how did you start in this wellness journey?
Okay, so I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a licensed professional counselor, but I'm also a business coach as well. So I kind of meet people in the intersection. I'm not your typical therapist. I'm more of a, I don't know, maybe a concierge therapist where my clients have access to me in between sessions because I find that gives them better growth. But I also like to work with people in multiple life domains because usually counseling is over one thing. So I work with their personal life, their relationships, and also do stuff in their businesses.
Wow, that's so powerful. And since you're so busy, and especially thank you so much for sitting down during this season. This is your busy season.
That's okay.
Yes. And I know that when we first met, it was because of your personal health journey.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like when I found you, it was such a God moment. Like for me, like it truly was, because I didn't know what I didn't know. I just knew I wasn't good. And I actually had a bridge fall off. And that's what started this whole thing. Like I've always worked on my health, whether it was physical, mental, whatever it was. I've always been an action taker. But my teeth have always been a problem since I was little bitty, like always. Like I remember in 5th grade having multiple cavities filled, and then they crumbled in my 20s, and then I had all this work. So I had a bridge fall off. And when I looked at it, I was actually on a session call with a client when it happened. And I'm trying to hide it, and it's like over here, and you can kind of see. And I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. But luckily I'm on Zoom, so I could try to hide. And I looked in it, and it was black.
Ugh.
And I'm like, this can't be good. So I went to the regular dentist, and they weren't really concerned about it. And they're like, oh, we'll just do something and fix it back up. And I don't know, the whole experience, I was like, something's wrong. Like I could just feel it in my gut. And I remember I was talking to somebody that we know mutual with Brendan Burchard, somebody on his team. And I'm like, you know what? I've heard of these people that are like these wellness dentists and all these holistic dentists, but I don't know where to find one. And I was really kind of complaining. I wasn't even thinking anything was going to come out of that. And she's like, I go, I don't even know what it is, but I've heard of it, but barely. And I said, I know something's wrong. I'm going to go get a second opinion. She's like, well, just call Dr. Katie. And I'm like, who's Dr. Katie? She's like, how do you not know Dr. Katie? Because we'd been around. And I'm like, maybe I met her. And then I realized you're 30 minutes from me. And I'm like, okay, God. So I called.
Yes.
And then I'm like begging your team. like Brendan's team told me it was okay. I'm name dropping everything.
Now every patient going to use that.
Yeah, but they're got to know what her name is.
That's right. That's right. The keyword. Yes. The password.
So everything was lovely from the minute that I called until I found you. And when I remember coming in and I'm thinking, just something's wrong. And you're like, this isn't good. Right? Like,
I remember.
It was really bad. And I didn't get that until like I'd been to the hospital twice. And they're like,
your file is so thick.
My file is so thick. I've been to every doctor.
Do every test.
I've done every test.
Yes.
I've been told all kinds of things, that it's this, it's that, it's in your head. That was kind of my final straw. When a doctor I've been going to for 10 years says, I think you need to see a psychiatrist. And I'm like, you refer patients to me.
Yeah.
Like, I am a therapist, and I get we don't always know things, but I know myself really well.
Yes.
And I've done the work. So, and I've had a lot of trauma in my past. Like, this isn't in my head. I feel pain head to toe right now in my body. And you're like, there's mold in your teeth. And I remember you saying that. I'm like, huh. And then I had a mold. I'm like, maybe there's mold in my body. So you're like, I don't know what you did after that, but it was like, you're going to go see this doctor and this doctor and this doctor and that doctor. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever you tell me to do right now, I'm thinking I'm going to go do, because you were the first person that made sense to me on this. And I remember when they sent me the pictures of my teeth after everything came off, I was like, wow. One day I thought I will never share those, but one day I'm like, lately, because I'm a year and a half out, I'm like, I might share those on my email one day, because it was bad. Like, you found a spring in one of my teeth.
Yes.
And just learning that every tooth connects to a body organ. I have actually been able to help somebody in the last month with that.
No way. Look at that. Sharing information.
Yes.
Yes.
She had asthma, and it had come back all of a sudden, and she was struggling to breathe, and she was like really bad. And I had remembered that a month before she talked about getting an implant. And I'm like, when did that start? What? I'm at needlepoint class.
Yeah.
Because I've taken up needlepoint now in my spare time. my granny hobby over here. And I was like, when did you get that implant? And she's like, oh, about a month ago. I said, and that's about when your asthma started. And then, we looked up the meridian chart online, and it's the exact tooth that goes with your lungs.
Wow.
She just got the implant removed because it ended up having infection and stuff. Removed it, asthma gone.
Wow.
So I've been able to help everybody else. Look at my knowledge over
Look
here.
at your knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. And that's, I think, thing happened for us. Once we have that information, we can empower and help so many.
Yeah. And I think for me at first, it was one, I just felt awful. And I did have mold in my whole body. And
you flip your house upside down.
I did. I flipped my house upside down. I had however long hours and hours of dental. I had a sinus surgery that same week.
Yeah.
I started seeing the functional medicine doctor, who's using words that I've never heard in my life, like mast cell activation, dysautonomia. And I'm like, my head is spinning. Meanwhile, I was losing sentences. So I would be having a conversation, and I would lose what I'm going to say mid-sentence.
And you're coaching people.
And I'm coaching people.
Wow.
And I'm like, this isn't good. I was having to type during I probably should not admit this, but I'm going to, because I want to be real. I was having to type what they were saying sometimes during my sessions, which I'd never even had to take a note before. So it was really bothering me that I had no short-term memory. Like, it really was all affecting me. And you're like, it all starts in your teeth.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, that's the last thing I want to work on. Just heal me first. And when I learned, if your teeth aren't well, the rest of you isn't going to get well, I was like, oh. And then you told me that, and the functional medicine doctor was like, we got to start with your head. And I'm like, yeah, but have you seen my gut? Like, I am in pain. And he's like, you can't heal your gut until you heal your head and your mouth.
Yeah, because your head is an upstream. So all the infections in there, either it's your sinuses, your brain, your mouth, is all drained downstream. And your gut is a symptom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a infection on my brain.
Yeah, show up on your brain scan. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
When people speak the same language.
Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think in medicine, where all the specialists are so compartmentalized and they don't communicate with each other, that's when the patient hurting. Like, you go to see so many specialists.
Oh, yeah. I'd been to so many doctors.
Yeah.
And I literally had taken the time after I went to the ER and I had severe low potassium. They call hypokalemia. I'd never heard of that. And they're like, you're literally like 0.2 away from your heart stopping. And it was the second time that I had gone in 6 months. No reason why. Nobody can tell me why. Why am I getting this? Well, just drink electrolytes. Well, my body's not holding them for some reason. Like, I knew none of this at all. And I was gaining weight. I was inflamed. Like, all kinds of things were happening. But once you cleaned out my teeth and I healed from that, things started. It took about another year.
Of course.
Uh,
Healing take time.
Oh my
People
gosh.
thinking or expecting miracle. They're like, oh, if you take that out, that infection out today, am I going to be able to like run a marathon tomorrow? I'm like,
Yes.
no.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me,
Healing would be rough too, because it's like withdrawal. It's like a
Oh.
withdrawal process. Your body no longer get this infection.
yeah.
So it's fighting
Oh, yeah.
for
I think my body didn't know
what to do.
what was going on. It was
Mhm.
really hard on me because I've always been a go-getter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just take action. I go do things. I'm busy all the time. I like to go help people, and I couldn't even do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to really say to myself, okay, you can't take new clients,
Wow.
which was really hard for me.
Yeah.
I kept my current ones,
Mm-hmm.
but hit my pocketbook big
Mhm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that because I can't remember things. My old ones will give me some leeway and I can fake it till I make it because I know them well enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it worked, and I did good work. I know I did. So I don't, not saying that, like, but I knew to take on more. I didn't have the capacity until I healed. So all of last year, I didn't take a single new client until December. I finally started taking new clients again. And it was actually into the year before. So it was a little over a year. And I knew I had to slow down. So I started needle pointing because I don't sit still well. I have to have something to do with my brain that's not working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of shame involved in that. Like, I felt shame that I couldn't remember things or sentences or people or having a conversation with somebody and then not remembering it and them looking at me like, you all right? Like,
Yeah. And I know that when you're introduce yourself, you said you're a therapist, but also a coach, which is, I think, you're a unicorn.
yeah.
Because a therapist, their function is like focus on like the past, like let's resolve that, let's work on it, let's talk about it. But a coach, you focus on their future.
Yeah, I blend them.
Yes. So tell me more about that, because I can tell you right now, my hands are so tight when I see patient coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do have physical, limitation.
Right.
But even after that being removed, that obstacle is still there because their mind is still stuck in that sickness state or in whatever the
it becomes your
past trauma.
identity.
Yes, their identity. And so they're like, oh no, I cannot feel well.
Yeah, I actually did that for a while. I got to where I was scared of food.
Wow.
Because every time
your tummy.
Yeah, my stomach was hurting
Yeah.
and I was having allergic reactions. So with mast cell, you can eat avocado one day and be fine, eat it 2 days later and not. So it was hard for me to go to events. I've always had a lot of food allergies, but this was next level. I was down to 5 foods, which is actually harmful, I found, because then you start becoming allergic to those and you have nothing.
That's right.
Right.
And you have no nutrient.
Nothing, no nutrients, nothing going in. Everything's a supplement, all the things. And that doesn't work either. Well, it does, but it doesn't. Not when it's the only thing you're doing.
That's right.
So I was scared to go out. I didn't want to go to restaurants. I quit being social. I was fearing food. I was fearing travel. Like, it got bad. And I was like, this isn't how I can live. Like, I lived my childhood because I had a pretty traumatic childhood full of abuse. I lived in fear, but I had broken all of that. I've done the work and I have to help people, right? So to go back to that level of it hit me hard, and that's where the shame came in. But being sick became my identity, right? Like, that's
how Amy is.
I'm just sick. I can't do that.
Mm.
I can't, when I go to this mastermind, go on the bike ride with you guys because it's going to hurt me later and I'm going to pay for it. I can't go to that restaurant when you're eating seafood because I know there's nothing I can eat. Right? So then it became embarrassing, shameful, all the things. So I was like, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to heal this body. And it's taken a lot of doctors. It's taken a lot of people knowing. Luckily with you, you knew where to send me.
Yes.
Which that tremendously cut through the junk. And I had doctors finally giving me an answer that made sense. because that was my problem. Nothing made sense. And I'm like, okay, now I know what to look up.
Yes.
Now I know how to make an action plan. So once I started getting my body healed, I'm like, I'm not going to live in fear anymore. So I actually went back to therapy.
Nice.
I feel like every therapist and coach needs a therapist and coach.
Yes.
And I put myself back in, and I'm like, I am living in fear. I'm doing these things. Some of them, I could justify them, right? I could rationalize it. And then it was actually the therapist who said, your identity has been, you're sick.
For a long time.
Yeah. And I had been for years.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, that's not really who I am. And she's like, you teach this. And I'm like, I know. You can erase definition of you and rewrite it. So I did. I did the work on that.
Wow. You walk the talk.
Yeah. But
Yes.
The therapist and the coach, I integrate them. Here's my philosophy on that. You mentioned that, and I'm a long way of getting here. But why do I do that? I believe that most therapists or coaches only work on one part of you. And that's because that's what they specialize in. And everybody says, niche down, just do one thing, just do this. And every part of my body has rebelled at that. And I get it. I'm not good at everything, but I am really good at integrating things. So I really believe you're a whole person.
Yes.
So if you come to me for marriage counseling, I will talk to you about marriage counseling, but I'm also going to talk to you about yourself. I'm going to talk to you if you own a business, because I do a lot of business coaching. I'm going to talk to you about your business, because if your marriage is suffering and your business is fine, you're still going to not be able to scale as fast and as good as you want to, even if you feel successful. Your success is limited to the level that you're feeling successful everywhere else.
Yes.
So how do we integrate that across 10 life domains? So I make every client come in and take the Thrive Life inventory with me, and it measures you across 10 life domains. But the biggest thing is finding a rhythm, not a balance.
A rhythm, finding a rhythm, not a balance.
Yeah, balance is a myth. You're never going to balance your life. Everybody wants it, but it just makes you feel like you're failing.
That's right.
Like, I work with a lot of elite achievers, like business owners, like people that are highly educated or are really out there doing the thing. And they want success in every area, their life, their relationships, their business, whatever it is.
Yes.
But they often feel like they're failing. But you can do everything. You just can't do everything at the same time.
Okay, did you hear that? You can do everything, just not everything at the same time. I have to
Yes.
say that to myself.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. So then it's, okay, well, which ones am I going to work on? Which life domain am I going to work on? Let's pick one and start. And then you snowball them or domino them, right? You could start getting successful in them, but you got to start with one or two. If not, you get overloaded and you quit. And then what happens? You shame yourself. You don't like yourself. You're mad at yourself. You feel like a failure again. Yeah. So if you can find a rhythm, and each season of life has a different rhythm.
Amen.
There's little kids season.
Yeah.
I'm empty nesting season.
Yeah.
I got a different thing going on than people that have younger kids at home. So
yeah. But when this episode like launch and then come out, people will be like, "Oh my God, what happened to my New Year resolution?"
Oh,
you know,
I
people
don't
have
even
the rhythm. Yeah,
they don't have the rhythm.
Yeah.
They're usually gone. It's funny because I usually do a lot of stuff in January online about that because you get to about week 3 and they're all out the window. I don't even make them. I talk about making intentions. Like, what intention do I want to set? And yeah, maybe it's just a different word for goal or a different goal for a word for resolution. But when you make an intention, it's something you intend to do.
That's right.
Like, you have to own it. You've got to know your why under an intention. If you don't know your why under a goal or why under a resolution, you're not going to stick. It's not going to stick.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, that's why we see people like set resolution every year and get really fired up, and then you know you're checking with them, you know, just like you said, 3 weeks later.
Yeah, and they're done.
And they're done. Yeah, they're like, oh, I'll do it next January.
Yeah,
and then like 10 years in a row, nothing's really changed.
And they wait, and I hear it a lot in the fall. Well, I'm going to wait until the new year to start working out.
You hear people say that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to wait until January to work on my marriage. We're going to get through the holidays.
Oh gosh.
Right. Like, okay, well, nothing's going to change in January. You're just going to let it get worse. And now you're wasting time. Like, we don't just get through to the next season because that next season's never going to be there.
So true.
right?
Yeah. I've seen that inpatient too.
Yeah.
And, having someone like you to send them to and say, you definitely need to work with someone like Amy, who not just a therapist, but also a coach, also understand how to integrate this into
Yeah.
your life. And she walked the talk because she's been there, she's done that. So she know how hard it is to being sick for so long
Yeah.
and feel like that's your identity.
It is. And there's a fine line in therapy going backwards and coaching going forward. And they are usually a dividing line there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that sometimes you have to go backwards.
Mm.
And that's where the therapy part kicks in,
Yeah.
right? Like sometimes you have to go back and identify the root of what's under everything. And when we can hit what the root is under your stories, we change everything. Because I can hear a story for a while, and you can come next week and tell me a story and next week, but I'm always looking for what's the common denominator under here that you're feeling. As soon as we hit it, we change everything. So I don't believe we have to sit back there for a really long time, unless there's high trauma and you just kind of need to vomit it out for a while. And some people do. That's perfectly okay. But at my heart of hearts, we're here to live, and we're here to live a happy life full of joy and things. It's not always going to be happy because we're all human and live in a broken world. But if we're staying in the past, we don't move forward. So how can we start to heal the past, understand the root of it, but let's leave it there as much as possible? And then how can we take, even if it's baby steps forward? And I'm like, small steps often make the change because baby steps, baby action, people can do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We see that.
And it gives them momentum.
Yeah.
Big ones are like, ugh, right? I don't want to do that.
Yeah. We noticed that when we giving patient homework, we give them baby step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just start with water pick right now.
Oh, you did that with me.
Yeah.
Just gargle this stuff every day.
And then you'll be able to get that down and then the next step, because people get really easy to be, like overwhelmed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because their life and their place already full.
Yeah, and especially when you're stepping into a realm where you don't know it. So like it's a foreign language for me. Everything you started saying, and then the functional medicine doctor, and then I got the sinus doctor. I'm like, y'all are using words I don't even know what they are. So it took me a while to wrap my head around that. But everybody was like, this is just the next thing. And I'm a big picture person. Like I like to know where I'm going. Tell me the end.
Yes.
But then tell me the next step to get there.
Yes. And I have to say, you have a strong determination when you be like, okay, I'm in. I'm surrender and I'm going to get this done. A lot of people enter this with, even though you had fear, and even though you've been sick for a long time at that point, a lot of people are like, oh, maybe, no, I'm not going to do that. Like they back out of it, or they don't think that they're going to be able to get well. But because that coach in you be like, no, I want to be the best version of myself. I don't want to be stuck here.
Yeah.
So you really help yourself and pull yourself forward, because I've seen a lot of patients, they have that glimpse of future, but it's not, they don't have that coach to help them pull it through. And they're like, oh no, maybe it's not going to be for me.
And I had to go back to have somebody else speak into me because I was stuck. And I'm like, this isn't who I want to be or how I want to be. And I know that I'm not going to move forward on this myself. And I'm very self-aware. You have to be doing what I do. But that was also one a big motivator for me is the day I said I couldn't take a new client. Not only did that affect my home life financially, which is, I mean, we'll make it, but it affected who I was and what I was supposed to do in my life. But I did not feel that I could effectively help somebody else until I got myself back in order again.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to help the clients you already have, know, love, and they trust you and all of that. Like you already have that relationship with them. It's a different thing to get a new client and build rapport and they don't trust you so much anymore. And I'm like, right now, I cannot 100% show up for you. So I refuse to do it because at that point, I'm messing up your life and that is not okay.
Wow. That's a high level of integrity.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, you cannot serve at your best,
And I'm
and
not,
I rather not serve.
yeah, I will not do it. But it was also a motivator to heal
That's right.
because I don't like not helping.
I remember you mentioned that you start accepting new client in December of
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
How's that going? Are you still accepting new client? Because I
I
know
am.
people like,
I am. I will max out at some point, but that's okay. We'll do a waiting list and people come out and come and go. Yes. And I've loved it. And I actually hit the cap last week of where I thought I would end. And I'm like, I got a whole nother capacity. Like, I thought I'll just
you're
fill
so
up.
creative. You
Yeah.
are very creative in terms of serving,
Yeah.
but also get them the access and get them to do the work themselves.
Yes. And
Yes.
I actually have a new offer that I love and is working out really well for a lot of people. So I have people that, I see them weekly, or I
Yeah.
do marriage intensives where
Yeah.
it's 3 to 5 hours a day or something like that. And then we do them 2 or 3 days in a row. Those work really well. I do individual. I also go into people's businesses and do strategic planning. I love that, right? Strategic planning or your team or leadership or just talking to them. We just customize it, whatever you need. But I love doing that too. But my favorite new thing, and it just randomly happened, is we have an app on our phone called Voxer. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a Voxer app. So it's talking, texting, video, whatever it is. So my friends and I are on a lot, but then I'm in it with a lot of groups and a different masterminds and different things, just a bunch of different people, prayer groups, my book club's on it. Like, and I'm like, I started giving my clients access to me on that. And I'm like, how can I do this? Because I'm talking to a lot of clients on this in between session.
Yeah.
And I actually started, it was a Major League Baseball player because
Wow.
they're traveling all the time, right?
Yes.
And he's like, can we just stop Zooms? I go, what is it you want to do?
Yeah.
And he goes, phone calls, Voxer, whatever. I'm like, yeah, let's try it. So we did. And then he mostly stayed on Voxer. And he's like, I love it.
Yeah.
So one way of getting people in more affordably, because, it's not always cheap, right?
So one-on-one is very...
It's not.
Yeah.
Especially when you have access in between and all of that. I try to make it as affordable as possible, but it's not always for a lot of people. I get that. One thing I do is I put it under coaching and they can write off their taxes.
Yeah. Hey, they invest in themselves.
That's right.
And the business depend on them. A lot of them are key man
Yeah.
in the business, and they need to.
Absolutely. So I'm like, I don't care what your invoice says. It could be executive coaching. Nobody has to know.
Business coaching.
Business coaching.
Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah.
Put it through your company. We're all good.
Yeah.
I do that a lot, actually. And then with these, I have them, we do a 90-minute deep dive, either in person or on Zoom. One time, one fee. That's it. And then that's where we get all the history. We get to know you. They do paperwork ahead of time, all the things. That's where I ask all the questions. We build that rapport. And then we go straight to Voxer.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I charge, well, depending on, there's 2 levels, but around $1,500 to $2,000 a month. We bill monthly. And it's a lot more affordable than, me being on there. And I can do it anywhere. So I can walk and talk. I can stitch and talk. I can do whatever, right? And what I've found is the people that are contacting me in between sessions or on Voxer only sessions, because I work with very busy people, they move further faster than the people that were just once a week.
Wow.
Because life doesn't happen at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday.
That's right. On the session.
Yeah, you might leave that session and have a blow up that night. On Thursday, have something else happen. On Sunday, now I do have some boundaries around my time, but I'm empty nesting, so most of the time I'm available, right?
And you love doing this.
I love doing it. So it's not a bother. But if I'm needing a break, I take the break. They know, my clients know, like, she doesn't answer me in 24 hours. She's taking a break somewhere. But I've found a lot of success with people, and they are a lot of great feedback with it. So I think I'm going to continue that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I remember when you have that idea, and I was like, Emmy, this is genius. You should do more of this, because that's mean you can share and help more people.
Yeah.
And they also have that control when they want to ask a question versus they have to
Absolutely.
wait for that Tuesday, afternoon
Right.
to ask that.
Yeah. And I find that the more we can do it in real time,
Mm-hmm.
the better it helps you,
Yes.
right? Like, because next Tuesday, you might have already forgot the thing on Thursday, but it's
Mhm.
still a problem unresolved. And where am I going to hit it? Or you don't get the whole thing through the session. You know, it's like the counselor in your pocket, right? I did
Mhm.
buy the domain. I haven't set it up yet.
I love that's brilliant in your pocket. Yes,
Counselor in your pocket.
yes, that's awesome. So share with us a little bit. Like you work with business, of course, a lot of athlete,
hmm
a lot of couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, a lot of people come to me relationship. I would
Mm-hmm.
say all my referrals are from referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my website, I need to do it. I keep been saying that for 2 years. Like, I need to do my website so it tells you actually what I do,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't. Um,
You were too busy.
I've been too
Yes.
busy, and then I just kind of took a break. But
Yes.
I'm going to work on it this quarter. Hold me accountable. By
Yes.
end of March, I will have my website finished. But usually they come to me, somebody's referred them, and almost 80% of the time it's a marriage thing. I'm kind of known for that. Other times it's individual or somebody knew me through business coaching. But out of 80% of, we just did some stats on this. So 80%, let's say, come in through marriage. Of those, I have ended up 92% of the time in their business
Mm-hmm.
and in their individual as well.
Yeah. That's telling you that one aspect of you think that you compartmentalize it, but it's not. It's affecting everything
It's
else in
affecting
your life.
everything.
That's like holistic view of your life.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we talk about that. Like, how is this marriage thing affecting you? And that sometimes I'll hear it's not. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
let me show you all the ways here
Yes.
soon once I get to know you. Right. Like, and I don't go in with that. I'm going to come in all these. I never think that. It just happens.
Mhm.
And I didn't even think about looking that up until my assistant said it because she was having a billing issue the other day for somebody. And I've been helping a behavioral health clinic open in Mississippi.
Mhm.
And I was there the first week of January. And she's like, wait, you do business coaching for two of their people, but this is consulting. She got all confused on the billing. And I'm like, yeah. And she was, didn't you see them as clients at one point? I was like, yeah, a few years ago. She got all confused.
Yes. But I love that you follow not what you were trained
Yeah.
to do as your licensing, but you also like this is what they need.
Yeah.
Like for example, we see a lot of patients come in here, and yes, they want us to help them with their teeth, but we obviously see the systemic connection.
Yeah.
They need to have the functional.
That's what you told me. Yeah.
Yes, and then they also need to have to work with a coach and a therapist.
Mhm.
They also have to work on their marriage.
Yeah.
And so when we're seeing that, and you just mentioned that I have a lot of people that we can refer to, is because it need more than just one person on your team.
Absolutely.
Your medical team, how many? I mean, look at your medical file. You're like, you have
Yeah.
all the big names on there.
Yeah.
And still, you need all of them.
I actually just went to a new hormone doctor that they referred me to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got to add another one. But I have one, two, I have the functional medicine doctor, the ear, nose, and throat, which I don't see him that often anymore. Once that was done, I'm done
That's
with
right.
that, right?
That's right.
But I know he's there.
That's right.
Now I have this new hormone female doctor. And because I'm finally at the point where I've stabilized enough to deal with that part
That's
of
right.
me.
Mm-hmm.
When before they're like, don't even worry about your hormones. I'm like, yeah, they're a mess.
Yes.
But, and then the chiropractor, who I think is a genius.
Yes.
And then you, and then I have a coach and therapist kind of on call, right?
Yeah.
So 6
Yeah.
on my team, because it's like a wheel and each one's a spoke. And if one of those spokes, I've got a flat tire,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it's affecting the speed, the whole, state of wellness in your body.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think like, oh, I found you on this, Facebook group. They talk about like how they come to you and they feel better. And then they come here and they have no medical doctor as a quarterback for their medical side.
Yeah.
They have no one else working on their, mental, physical, spiritual health, and they thought that this is like a one thing that gonna help them to get there. And I'm like, healing take times and it need a team.
Yeah.
So
And I talk a lot because I actually do the same thing. So where I said, like, I do a lot, but I don't do everything. So I believe I can help people maintain success without losing themselves or those they love. Right? Like that's my main thing. The business thing's just something I love to do because I had to go to a business coach with my counseling center when I had it because I'm like, I don't want to run a business. And I ended up business coaching and loving it.
Yes.
So that's one reason I work with a lot of business owners. And when I coached for them, Michael Hyatt, I coach all doctors, dentists, chiropractors. Like it was so funny. I was the doctor person. I don't know why, but I was. And but I learned so much through that. And I was like, I just want to give that back too. But at the same time, I don't do health. I still learning my own. So I have health people now I send to. Now I send a lot of people your way.
Yes.
I send stuff to you. So I believe it absolutely takes a whole
village
to fill it in. And you got to go to the good ones.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And they have to communicate with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That's
otherwise the patient's going to be like, what do I do next? Nobody know the plan. Yeah. And I think communication is that what we own that to the patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I do that a lot. I won't reveal your confidential stuff, but I will get you set up with the people you need and say, these are the things that I'm hearing them say physically that might be affecting their body. These are the things that I think need to be checked with hormones because like I can tell you, especially on women, if they have anger, one of the first things I asked was, is this anger like we're just mad at the world and we're taking it out on people and being mean? Or is this like I'm perfectly fine, I walk in a room and the light's on wrong and you get mad because somebody didn't turn off the light switch? Like, are we flipping that fast? And if it's flipping that fast, I know we got a hormone issue. We don't have an anger issue. We got a hormone issue. So now it's like, okay,
let's send you to this person.
Let's go send you there.
Yes.
But I do a lot of collaboration. And you know what? I think a lot of times people don't because it takes time.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People want a quick fix.
They want a quick fix. And it just takes time. And it takes time on the doctor's part to collaborate, which is why a lot of them don't. It takes time on our part to go and figure out the system. But now when I have a blood test, I may have not seen you in 6 months, but you still get my blood tests.
Yes.
Everybody's getting them. And by the way, you're going to be getting some because I took some this morning.
Yes. And so that means, the big part is you're an amazing therapist and coach, and you have so many awesome clients because you do send them over here. So I know you walk the talk and you do a lot of this in your life and you stay so busy. But what is the top 3 wellness practices that seem like non-negotiable for you? That you're like, I'm gonna do this no matter what because that's what I need in this season of life and this work for me.
I have to have solitude.
Amen.
I didn't know that about myself because I was always around people. I was always so busy. And then everybody talks about introverted, extroverted. Well, I can do both. However, my core nature is right over the line. So I reset by being alone. And until I learned that about myself, like it caused me all kinds of problems. So number one, I require solitude and I create it. I go on trips by myself and I may not leave the hotel or room service for 3 days and be perfectly fine. Right?
Wow.
Like I did not used to give that to myself. I felt selfish doing it. But now I know I am not my best person if I do not reset by being alone. So I have alone time at least an hour a day. My son is back living at home while he's in grad school. It's messing with my empty nesting thing going on. And I empty nest well. Love my kids.
Yes.
But I mean, they're all 26, 24, and 23. I mean, they're out doing their thing. But he knows during that hour, I probably better not let mom hear me. Luckily, he's gone at work, so it doesn't matter. So I have that every day. The other one is I have to watch my food intake.
You're very strict on that.
I am because I have a lot of food allergies, but it's easier for me to not eat than to eat. And that's not good.
I witnessed this.
Yeah.
I travel with you and you are so good about that. You ask what's in it and you rather not eating anything than create more problem for your body.
So I travel with food. I travel with, I plan it ahead. I know the restaurants I'm going to. And I had to kind of get over the fact that I'm always thinking about food. Right. But for me to be able to show up and not be embarrassed or be that person who has to ask for special treatment, like I didn't want to for a long time, but I just kept getting sicker. So now I'm like, I have to ask. I find nobody cares. Everybody's willing to help.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Just honor your body.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's my number 2 is I have to make sure that I actually eat because I won't eat if I don't plan it. And that's not good. So that's number 2. And my number 3 wellness is, well, the solitude helps my mental, right? I sit with God every day in that. So that is very much good for me. I'm trying to think what would be my next number 3 wellness is. I think for me, it's not any one thing. It's not giving up. Like, I know I still have healing to do. I know we still have work to do in here. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to do it the other day.
Because I know that because you've been really prioritize your work over yourself because you're like, I haven't felt this good in a long time. So I'm going to go back to work. That's what fueled me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like gave you so much energy when you talk about your work and your clients. So I know you didn't want to be that. That's a problem with schedule many times.
Yeah, I know when they're like, it's going to be about a week of healing. I'm like, okay, for me, that's about a month. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I also know that I have to keep at it. So for me, it's still making sure I hit my doctor's appointments, making sure I'm taking my blood tests, making sure I'm those blasted supplements, right? Like
it's a lot of supplements.
Yes. And I'm actually down.
Nice. Yay.
Like I was on 2 pages.
I haven't made the second page, but Neil definitely win.
I am was on 2 pages and I am down to a quarter of a page.
Amazing. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're right. Don't give up because a lot of patients actually appreciate to hear that.
Yeah. I wanted to give up so many times. Like, and even hearing you still have all this left to finish.
Yeah.
It's like, for a moment, I was like, I don't know. They can give me whatever they want. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Because you remember you just put out the fire.
Yeah.
And that took that long.
Yeah.
And now you'll be like, I'm going to rebuild my house.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time. However, you already feel the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's going to be like, I have to keep going. I want to be 100%, not 90.
Can you imagine how many people you can serve with 100%?
Absolutely. Because I'm already starting to see it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I'm watching you and I can tell you, Amy of this year, it's so high energy.
Yeah.
Not compared to when we first met.
No.
Even just when you're healing and you're like, hey, I do notice the difference, but you are baby stepping.
Oh, yeah.
And now you be like, massive action coming.
Yeah. Significant even from 6 months ago.
Yeah. And I know during that healing time, you kind of like, did I do the right thing, Katie? Like, how long does it take me to feel that shift?
Yeah, it took me a long time.
Yeah. And people need to hear that because, again, they want quick fix.
Yep.
And they
did
hope
too.
that if I did that surgery, if I did that procedure, I'm going to be like 100% all over again.
Yeah. But your body has to reset itself and re-heal. And it's this organ to this organ down that, like all the way down.
And physical and spiritual and emotional.
Absolutely.
And therapy and counseling. It's not just.
Yeah, there's 10
coaching.
life domains.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not just one thing,
not
right?
Just one.
Yes. And we know that when you are coaching your clients and when we see a patient, we see that and we see that gap. And we're like, okay, we're gonna take baby step with you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to give up.
Yeah. That's why I have them take the Thrive Life Inventory. And anybody can take that. It's at thrivelifeinventory.com. It's free. People are like, you should charge.
Is that your site?
Thrivelifeinventory.com.
We're going to put that on there.
I have people say, you should have that only for your clients. I've had coaches tell me that. You're only backdoor. Clients only. You should charge. I'm not ever going to. Because you need to know where you stand. Spiritual health, physical health, emotional health, your adventure, your social, your marriage, your parenting, your finances. You need to know where you stand. And if you can find that, take this 10-minute assessment. I wouldn't say it's not a quiz. It's kind of like that, but it's an assessment because we researched it a lot.
Yes.
And just know where you stand and then pick one area that you want to work on and attack that one first.
That's right.
because take it again in the next quarter. My clients take it quarterly.
Yeah.
And what they think is we've got to hit, if we're low in 3 areas, we've got to hit all 3. Nope, just one. And I guarantee you 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now, all those other ones are going to come back up that you haven't even thought you touched.
Beautiful. Okay, we're going to put the link for you. So
Okay.
don't worry. But I know you want to reach out to Amy. And so, Amy, can you please
Sure.
share with our audience, our listener, where can they continue conversation with you or follow your journey and get access to a lot? You have so much content.
I do.
Seriously, you have so much
I do.
content and so much resources.
Hundreds of podcasts.
And so we would love for them to follow you and then
Sure.
also send you questions.
Okay. The easiest place is on Instagram, and it's Amy Wine Co. Because somebody has Amy Wine but doesn't use it, and I can't figure out how to get it. So Amy Wine Co. CO. And then amywine.com has the links to the podcast. It's called Couch Time with Amy Wine. It has the links to all the other social, my email, anything.
Beautiful. And thank you for offering that, because I know people are going to grab that and be like, I'm going to do that assessment.
Yes.
And I'm going to reach out because, again, they've been doing physical thing.
Yeah.
And of course, baby step. Like nobody's going to be able to do everything at once. And you already said that.
Yeah.
You can do everything.
Just not everything at once.
Thank you, Amy. I had to hear that for myself. I'm sure my team was like, Dr. Katie, did you get that? So make sure you grab the resources. Check out the website. We put all the links for you in the show note. And Amy, thank you so much. I know it's a crazy busy. I'm almost like twisting her arm and saying, you have to come here. And she's like, but I have another podcast already. I'm like, we wait for you.
Thank
and
you.
it's so worth it. Thank you so much
I
for sharing your
appreciate you.
journey.
Thanks for having me and healing me. I attribute all that to starting with you.
You doing the work. I'm the guy. I guide you to other doctor and helping you through this.
I know, but
I've been watching your healing journey, and you did that all by yourself.
oh,
So thank you.
you.
Yes, but we need to come back.
Yes.
Because I know that you have a lot of things like available and offer for people. So we need to get back and check on your continued healing journey.
Okay.
It's not done.
Nope, not
Right?
at all. Still working on it.
So part 2 coming. And so thank you so much. And make sure you subscribe to the show to make sure you follow on Amy Journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening today. Wellness starts in your mouth and includes your entire life. When you understand that, the whole game changes. Come learn more at thewellnessdentist.com. We see you in the next episode. And remember, there is always a reason to smile.